I was getting flashbacks to John Wick when I heard Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri talk about what has been happening behind the scenes at McLaren after the Singapore Grand Prix and before this weekend's US GP, because basically they have said that there are going to be consequences when it comes to what happened at Singapore. But what are these consequences going to be? What could they be? Because they've been very cryptic about this. They haven't said what is going to happen and should something happen. Because I said after the Singapore Grand Prix that if I was McLaren personally, I would have swapped them around after that turn 1 incident, or turn 3 incident, first few corners anyway. The one on the first lap, basically, where Lando Norris barged Oscar Piastri out of the way. Didn't mean to do so, but it happened, and because of that, he lost a place. I think if they really want to be fair on this, which they claim to be, obviously, then they should have given that place back. They should have inverted the drivers, to use a bit of a Formula 1 term there. But they didn't, interestingly, which is the opposite of what they did at the Italian Grand Prix a few weeks before that as well. So if McLaren really want to be fair, then why were they not fair on that one? That's just my opinion, of course, and a lot of people share it, but I want to hear what you have to say as always, guys. I've got some interesting opinions on that as always. A lot of good responses on the previous videos about this, but what are these consequences going to be? What does that actually entail potentially? Well, it could be anything. We really don't know at this stage what could happen. It could be that Lando Norris maybe has to give Oscar Piastri a preferential tow in qualifying to give his opponent an advantage. I mean, that would be a bit ridiculous if that was the case. They should be helping each other out anyway if they really want to go down that route, but they don't have to as well. You know, Kota has some long straights, but you don't really need to make the most of the draft around there. It's not really like Monza or Spa where you've got this really, really long flat out zone. With the exception of the back straight, there's not really that many super long straights around this track. The pit straight's pretty long, but not on that kind of level anyway. It's more likely something in the race though. There might well be something where, I don't know, Piastri gets a preferential pit stop over Lando Norris, even if Piastri's behind, something like that. I'm really hypothesizing at this point, guys, because in truth we don't know. But should McLaren be wanting to rectify this later on? Well, for me, no. Again, I'm not so sure this is the right approach. I mean, again, we don't know what this consequence is going to be. We don't know what Lando Norris is going to have to do effectively, or might have to do. It might be one that's conditional. He might not have to actually do it, depending on the circumstances between now and the end of the season. Again, we don't know. But for me, I think they should just leave what happened at Singapore in Singapore. Don't go carrying it forward to the next race. I hate when stewards do that with penalties, and I think teams should also not have to do that as well. I mean, it's never really been a possibility for teams to do this anyway, but here we are. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Should McLaren have to make these consequences? Should they have to put this in place? For me, I think they're just digging themselves an even deeper hole at this point. They're just making things needlessly complicated, and given the fact that they've won the Constructors' Championship now as well, I think relatively they should just stay out of things unless there's something that is so obviously a dirty move from one of the drivers to the other. I really don't think they should get involved, and even then you might say that, well, they shouldn't get involved anyway because they've done their job. McLaren have won the Constructors. They are champions. They know one of their drivers is going to be champion, you know, at least a 90% chance. I know Max Verstappen said 50-50 chance this weekend in the press conference, which I did like that response. I thought that's very Max. That I do like that, because you can't disagree with that. It's either you win it or you don't. So, but they've won it. You know, McLaren have already won it. Now it's whether Piastri or Norris is going to win it. Which one of those two is going to win it? And I think McLaren should just stay out of it. You know, they should just stay out of it at this point. But I want to get your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this. And have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world today. See you very soon.